Right. Hello, everyone. I'm Waleed Nasser. I'm a program director at the TIP Directorate. I'm joined by two colleagues of mine, David Tennenhouse and SJ. Let me share the screen with you. So I'm gonna turn off my camera so you can focus on the slides. So again, hello everyone. My name is Waleed Nasser. I'm a program director at the Directorate of Technology, Innovation and Partnerships, the Division of Innovation and Technology Ecosystems. I'm going to walk you through today the latest solicitation we have from my program and from the Emerging Tech section. It's about the Ideas Lab, Advancing Cell-Free Systems Towards Increased Range of Fuse-Inspired Applications, or CFIRE. So today's agenda, I'm going to briefly talk about the Directorate for Technology, Innovation, and Partnerships. And then I'm going to focus on the Advancing Cell-Free System Towards Increased Range of Fuse-Inspired Applications, or CFIRE. And it has three parts to it. First, about the ongoing reduction of cost. We just want to get you on a path so we can reduce the cost of cell-free systems. We're going to talk about the increased range and capabilities, and then use-inspired applications. And after that, I'm going to walk you through the Ideas Lab process, mostly focusing on the preliminary proposal and then the Ideas Lab workshop. I'll also touch upon the full proposal at the end. And towards the end of this webinar, we'll try to take as many questions and answer as many questions that we can. So let me start with the Directorate for Technology, Innovation, and Partnerships. So in 2022, in the CHIPS and Science Act, Congress authorized the establishment of NSF's new Technology, Innovation, and Partnerships Directorate. Congress had named 10 key technology focus areas that includes biotechnology, and named 5 societal, national, and geostrategic challenges, including national security, manufacturing, workforce development, climate change and environmental sustainability, and equal access to education, opportunity, or other services. TIP is a unique directorate. It overarches all scientific disciplines. TIP integrates within NSF's existing directorate to accelerate use-inspired and translational research and development to advance U.S. competitiveness in key technology areas. And TIP will focus on growing the U.S. economy and training a diverse workforce for future high-wage jobs. TIP fosters partnerships with government, industry, nonprofits, civil society, and communities of practice. TIP will bridge the gap between public and private funds. TIP programs help move discoveries out of the lab and into use. NSF funding primarily goes to foundational research. So TIP wants to harness that foundational research, that critical mass of foundational research, and TIP helps by funding use-inspired research, prototype development, product scale-up that would get research to consumers, into technologies, and into practice, standards, and more. So let me start with the first slide, which is a summary slide of what you need to know about the solicitation of advancing cell-free systems towards increased range of use-inspired applications, or CFIRE. CFIRE will address the key limitations of cell-free technology and by identifying technical approaches that can enable ongoing cycles of improvement. So CFIRE initiatives aims to accelerate the adoption, aims to accelerate the adoptions of cell-free systems, reduce the cost of cell-free systems, increase the range and capabilities of cell-free systems, and develop and demonstrate cost-effective use-inspired applications. The focus of this solicitation will be on the demonstration of specific applications beyond prototyping and human therapeutics. And I can give you examples, and just please bear in mind that these are just examples. Examples are advanced manufacturing, environmental sustainability or remediation, agriculture, and climate resilience. This is a special process. Only teams or groups formed during Special Ideas Lab workshop will be eligible to submit full proposals. Workshop invitations will be based on a 2-page preliminary proposals. Preliminary proposals to participate are due May 17, 2024, and the Ideas Lab workshop, it's an in-person meeting, will take place in July 15 to 19, 2024. But let's step back a little bit and let's talk about what we want to accomplish. There's a nascent industry formed around the ability to carry out biochemical processes in cell-free systems. There are clear advantages to cell-free systems from rapid turnaround, distributed and highly retargetable manufacturing, control of manufacturing environments, and high-fidelity instrumentation. Production of biomolecules that are challenging for cell-based system due to toxicity to cells or the product degradation or consumption by the cell machinery. So despite these clear advantages, today, cell-free systems are expensive. They have limited use with limited range of capabilities. So what we hope to accomplish through this solicitation, and in about 3 years from now, we want to place cell-free technology on an exponential growth path with ongoing cycles of improvement, increased adoption to create a virtuous cycle of learning, investment, and cost reduction. We want to include wide range of applications by startups, big companies, academia, and others, and work on training new translational talent. So let's start with the first bucket or track, which is reducing the cost of cell-free systems. A focus could be in reconstituted systems or cell extracts. And we hope to do that through a series of ongoing and significant reductions. As an example, series of steps to reduce the cost by a factor of 2 every 2 years, and to narrow the economic gap between cell-free and cell-based manufacturing. Lowering the overall cost unit output of cell-free systems, focus, sorry for that. We want to do significant increase in yield and rate for the system as a whole or individual components. As an example, we can focus on engineering proteins or other components for stability and processivity of the system, engineering organisms or utilizing different organisms to enhance productivity of cell extracts, ribosomal activity and longevity, optimizing reaction conditions, optimizing purification condition techniques, and stabilizing storage, increased shelf life, and so forth. And of course, utilizing cheaper, longer functioning components, for example, energy input or cofactor, etc. In this first bucket or this first track, we must also address the fidelity and reproducibility of the system and include use-inspired application. The second bucket or track is increasing the range and capabilities of cell-free systems. Proposal in this track will address the versatility of cell-free systems and will focus on expanding the range and capabilities of applications. It could be scaling up or scaling out. Scale up could be to manufacturing scale, liters and kiloliters from the traditional microliters that we usually do in the lab, and then scale out, enable applications of extremely large numbers of pico or microliter reactions, such as biosensors or point-of-use diagnostics. Proposals may also include the integration of capabilities, such as post-translational modification, production of newly designed enzymes, manufacturing of membrane proteins, production of complex biomolecules, increased length of the DNA that we transcribe and translate. For examples, this is just an example, bacteriophage scale. New capabilities may include as well quality control methods to assess the purity and yield of intermediate or final products, and means to incorporate those assays within the cell-free systems. Again, in this bucket or in this track, it also must include use-inspired application of how we can accomplish using the extended range and capabilities of the cell-free systems. The third bucket or track is to develop and demonstrate cost-effective use-inspired applications. The focus will be on specific applications beyond prototyping and human therapeutics, such as advanced manufacturing, environmental sustainability or remediation, agricultural, climate resilience, and more. The application must include the development and demonstration of a prototype that addresses one or more specific applications. As an example, at-scale production of specific materials and ready-to-use kits or modules with very small reaction volumes. As an example, easily deployable biosensors that benefit specific animals or plant health, environmental safety applications, e.g., wastewater monitoring. So in the next few slides, we will talk about the Ideas Lab process that starts with the preliminary proposal. It's a two-page proposal to participate in the Ideas Lab workshop. After preliminary proposal review, we will invite 30 to 40 participants with diverse expertise, and those invitees will then attend the Ideas Lab workshop. The Ideas Lab workshop environment is set to brainstorm ideas, form collaborative teams, and outline project plans. And after the Ideas Lab, some or all will be invited to submit a full proposal. Only selected teams from the Ideas Lab workshop will be invited to submit full proposals. And in the next few slides, I'm going to focus primarily on the preliminary proposal and the Ideas Lab workshop of this whole CFIRE process. So we want to bring experts from a range of disciplines. So at the beginning, the Ideas Lab preliminary proposal must come from one individual, and that individual should be available to attend the workshop itself. The preliminary proposal is only a two-page proposal, two-page limit. There are other documents, details in the solicitation, but I will also touch upon that towards the end of this webinar. And all the individuals that submit a preliminary proposal must have their organization be registered with SAM.gov or research.gov. This can take weeks. Please start early. The deadline for this preliminary proposal is May 17, 2024. And again, I will touch upon the other documents and these registrations later on in this webinar. So who should apply for this solicitation? We want to bring experts from a range of disciplines. individuals representing diverse areas as well, such as startups, big companies, small companies, academia, and nonprofits. We also look for individuals with expertise across a range of disciplines. These disciplines can vary from application-specific expertise, biochemistry, enzymology, bioengineering, molecular biology, bioprocessing, biomanufacturing, biophysics, mathematical modeling, statistics, chemistry, computer science, standards, biosecurity, biosafety, techno-economic analysis, and the evaluation of the ethical, legal, and social implications of emerging biotechnologies. Participants at any stage of their career are welcomed to submit a preliminary proposal. So let's talk about the selection and guidelines for the Ideas Lab preliminary proposals. Invitation to the workshop will be based on information submitted in preliminary proposal. Submission confirms your availability to attend the in-person workshop that will be held in July 15 to 19, 2024 in the vicinity of the DC area of Alexandria, Virginia. There are more details in the solicitation about the guidelines. Briefly, on page 1, we are asking to respond to 3 questions. Limit, please, to 200 words. And these questions we're asking is about your brief summary of your professional background, your expertise and interest contributing to realizing the goals of CFIRE, and your suggested approach or other contribution towards CFIRE. Please note that we're not asking for a specific project or details of a specific project. The projects and the details of the projects will be discussed and crystallized during the Ideas Lab workshop. And on page 2, limit to only 150 words to answer each of the 4 questions that will help NSF evaluate your suitability to the Ideas Lab environment. So let's talk briefly about the Ideas Lab workshop itself. So the Ideas Lab workshop is an intensive workshop for exchanging ideas, forming collaboration, and crystallizing project plans. The in-person workshop will be preceded by maybe 1 or 2 teleconference meetings to get everyone to know each other. And then from the 30, 40 selected invitees, we are asking them to come with open mind and open for new collaborations. The workshop will be coordinated by professional facilitators and domain experts. And some of the elements that will happen during this 5-day event is first, get a lot of ideas on the table. We talked to some of you folks. You have great ideas and great innovative applications. Bring them to the table and let's start the discussion. As a reminder, the focus will be on cost reduction, wide range of capabilities, and use-inspired applications. And after the first day or 2, we will start combining ideas into innovative potential projects. There'll be a dynamic formation of teams, so teams can form, reform, join each other, or split. It's a dynamic process while we exchange ideas, crystallize projects, and look for collaborators. At the Ideas Lab, the attendees will forge consensus on target applications and metrics for success. And during the Ideas Lab process, you will have a real-time peer review to revise and refine proposed solutions. So what we are expecting from the workshop outcome. So as I mentioned, during the early stages of the workshop, teams will form and start developing project outlines. Towards the end of the 5-day workshop, each team will pitch their plan. Selected pitches from those teams will be invited to submit full proposal according to NSF guidelines. Attendees at the workshop will also forge a consensus on challenges and target applications. As you noticed, it's the overarching theme is applications, applications, applications. They should also focus on standards for fidelity and reproducibility of the system that will expand the use of cell-free system and get it on a path for cost reduction. And we want you all to come and with the mind to have ambitious goals, but attainable goals as well. And during the workshop, the teams will forge consensus on the metrics through which progress toward these goals will be measured. So CFIRE seeks significant breakthroughs that will accelerate the adoption of cell-free systems. Proposal will outline the following components. And of course, these are subject to limits specified in the solicitation. We want the groups to demonstrate the feasibility and advantages of cell-free systems through use-inspired application with specific emphasis on applications beyond human therapeutics. Not that there's something wrong with human therapeutics, there is enough funding for it, and we want to expand to other fields. And if that happens also to help with applications for human therapeutics, by all means, please. We want to create an infrastructure component such as tools, protocols, kits, data sets, and characterization services that can be readily accessed by third parties. We want to create an ecosystem so researchers from industry, from academia, from nonprofits can benefit from that ecosystem. And finally, we want to invest in workforce component, focus on training of translational talent. So let me briefly touch upon the full proposal. Again, you don't need to worry about the full proposal at this time because we will have time after the Ideas Lab. So post-workshop, teams will have time to work on the full proposal and recruit additional members. So if you have collaborators or colleagues that didn't make it to the Ideas Lab, they can still be part of the full proposal as a senior or key member. Full proposals will conform to the project outline developed in the workshop. That's why attending the workshop is so important, so we can crystallize those ideas and plans. Ideas Lab full proposal must identify outcomes and deliverables. Again, the focus on the components I mentioned earlier and use-inspired applications. Full proposals must follow NSF proposal and award policies and procedures guide. And the full proposal will include supplementary documents, namely a management plan and intellectual property management plan. So the full proposal review, the review will be evaluated, reviewers, will evaluate proposals using the two National Science Board approved merit review criteria, namely the intellectual merit and broader impact. But there are solicitation specific review criteria, and these are, if successful, how significantly will the proposed work accelerate the adoption of cell-free technologies and increase the use in applications of importance to the US bioeconomy? To what degree does the proposal contribute to achieving the specific goals set during the Ideas Lab workshop, including the specific sub-goals for infrastructure, applications, and workforce component? Does the proposed project have an appropriate mix of stakeholders to attain the use-inspired objectives of this solicitation? We want people to collaborate together to aim higher and achieve more ambitious goals. And at the end, we're going to review are the themes, objective, approach in the proposal congruent with those determined at the Ideas Lab. So the full proposal should conform to the Ideas Lab outlines that was pitched to the mentors at the end of the 5-day workshop. And if there's any significant changes to the project scope or resources from those presented at the Ideas Lab, should be justified with the program director. So let me focus again on the important dates and award information. So the preliminary proposal due date is May 17th, 2024. The Ideas Lab in-person workshop, those that submit the preliminary proposal will commit to attend that workshop. It will be held in the vicinity of the DC area and the vicinity of Alexandria, Virginia, and in the DC area, and it will be held on July 15 to 19, 2024. As I mentioned earlier, full proposals due date are September 20th. We still have plenty of time to do so or focus on the full proposal after the Ideas Lab workshop. The CFIRE award information is up to 40 million over 3 years. We're anticipating to fund up to 8 awards. Let me talk a little bit about important registrations at SAM.gov and research.gov. Institutions submitting proposals to the solicitation must have an active UEI, Unique Entity Identifier, through SAM.gov. This is a prerequisite for submitting a proposal on research.gov. SAM.gov UEI can take several weeks, although the registration itself may take an hour or two, but it might take weeks for you to get the UEI so you can register at research.gov, so please start early. As a reminder, SAM registration must be renewed annually. Research.gov is the online grant management for the NSF community. Register your organization and establish roles. Each organization must have someone registered as the organization approved principal investigator and as the authorized organizational representative. Only the AOR or the organizational representative, the authorized organizational representative, can submit proposals to NSF. Registration processing time can take up to 48 hours, so please start early. And this is the website for resources and help desk. If you have any questions relating to registration, please go to the help desk of research.gov at research.gov. So beside the 2-page preliminary proposal, the application must include a biographical sketch and a current and pending support. These documents should be submitted using ScienceCV. It's the Science Experts Network Curriculum Vitae, and this is the website. You can also find frequently asked questions on using ScienceCV at this web page. All these web pages and all the details you can find them at the solicitation itself. So as I mentioned, everything can take time. It's not only a 2-page proposal, preliminary proposal, so please start early. So this is the summary slide I showed you at the beginning. It has all the important information you need to know for this solicitation. I hope that by now you have a better understanding of the details in this summary slide. So again, CFIRE initiative aims to accelerate the adoption of cell-free systems. So we want to focus on 3 buckets or 3 tracks. First one is reduce the cost. Second one, increase the range and capabilities of cell-free system. And the third one, develop and demonstrate cost-effective use-inspired application. This is the mission, and we want to focus on that. The focus on the demonstration of specific applications beyond prototyping and human therapeutics. As an example, again, these are just examples, are advanced manufacturing, environmental sustainability remediation, agriculture, and climate resilience. Only teams or groups formed during a special Ideas Lab workshop will be eligible to submit full proposals. Invitation to these workshops will be based on a 2-page preliminary proposal. And I just want to emphasize again the important dates you need to pay attention to, that the preliminary proposal to participate is due on May 17th, 2024. And the in-person lab workshop will take place on July 15 to 19, 2024 in the DC area. Before I give the stage to David Tennenhouse, I want to mention about another CFIRE program from the Emerging Tech Session. It's the Use-Inspired Acceleration of Protein Design, or USPRD. It will also follow the same process as CFIRE, utilizing the Ideas Lab process. And before I go to the questions, I will yield the stage to David Tennenhouse if he would like to add comments.
Well, Waleed, I think you did a great job of covering the program. I think my main comment would be that we're excited, to be able to I think, launch an activity like this that's intended to take some of the work that's gone on in cell-free systems, cell-free technology to a next level, particularly of use and commercialization. And for those that are attending, that have contributed to getting things to the place they're at, we really want to thank you for, kind of creating this nascent ecosystem. And one of our purposes now, as Waleed described, is to, turn that into kind of a full-fledged industry, and we see a lot of opportunity. So we really appreciate the hard work that this community's done to get things to this point. The only other comment I have is to just reaffirm what Waleed said. Is the key thing to focus on right now is getting your 2-page proposals in. Those are the preliminary proposals. We've really tried to reduce this down. It's just 2 pages. It's a very set of questions to answer. So we've tried to make this relatively easy for folks. And that's the key next step for people to focus on. And there is a short deadline, so please get it done. And that would make you eligible for selection to attend the workshop, and from there participate in teams and potentially be part of the program. So that's absolutely critical. As Waleed said, the other important thing is that in order to submit your preliminary proposal, that 2-pager, you do need to have an account set up, et cetera. Some of that can take time. So it doesn't require a lot of your time, but it needs to be done well in advance. So just please be sure, sort of, if you think you might be submitting, get started right now on getting those accounts opened. So everything will be there when you're ready with your 2-pager. Well, I think we're probably just about there, Waleed. I again want to really say we had some great questions and really want to reinforce our thanks to this community for having, brought cell-free systems to this point. And, we look forward with working, together with you to take things further and to enable new uses, new applications, and figure out how to really turbocharge this space. Waleed, any final comments?
I mean, again, we want to thank the community. We talked to some of you. You have great ideas and great applications out there. Just bring them to the table. The process is unique and it's different than other processes that we use as vehicles at NSF for solicitation, but this one should be exciting. I don't remember how many times I heard someone that, I was in a conference and I was having lunch with so-and-so, and then we collaborated, and then they end up having a Nobel Prize project at the end. So we're setting that atmosphere. We're setting that atmosphere for you guys to come together and collaborate. And hopefully you are open for new collaboration, bring your great ideas, and it's an exciting process. We are expecting great results coming out of this process. Again, we met the community. We know how hard you work. We know how innovative you are. So bring that together and let's collaborate for ambitious goals. But it also needs to be attainable as well, because we have 3 years to hopefully put this system, or the cell-free system, on a path to reduce costs, increase the range, and come up with applications that will benefit the U.S. bioeconomy. And with that, I really thank you all for joining me. I would like to thank our our technical team, Tamim and Hamad, for joining us. And of course, Dr. David Tennenhouse and Dr. Sudharman, Jayaweera or SJ, for helping me with the questions and joining me at this seminar. Again, I look forward for your application. And please, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at wnasser@nsf.gov. Thank you so much.